But broadly, you're telling me that even on
symptoms.
ventilators, there was no pressure on your systems. The worry, of course, Dr. Coetzee, is that there are many more variants out there. We've just heard today of a new variant in France that has its origins in Cameroon that is fast mutating. Is that the worry, that Omicron may not be the end of it, particularly variants coming from Africa, ma'am?
I'm currently not really aware of that variant and what the clinical symptoms are, because that's always the question, is what is the clinical symptoms, and is it a variant of concern, or is it a variant that you need to keep your eye on? So I'm not aware on our chat groups of any current concern around the Cameroon. Maybe within the next few days I would know more. But for now, I don't think it's a problem in South Africa. Definitely not.
But is there a large part of the problem that we in India must
of the patients that we are seeing?
But ma'am, is there a large part of the problem that we in India must confront, that across Africa, including South Africa, vaccinations haven't kept pace with the other parts of the world? About 26% of your country fully vaccinated, and that is a danger, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It will always be a problem in South Africa. We have only been able to vaccinate 44.89% of our adults above the age of 18. And that's very low rates if you compare it with the first world countries. Mm-hmm. We are trying very hard to get people to get vaccinated. The problem is the Omicron, a lot of people has been infected with Omicron without having really very severe symptoms. So that what happens then, a lot of people feel that the immune system has been triggered now by getting Omicron, and therefore they will wait before they go for their next or for their vaccines going forward. But it's always a gamble that you take, because you never know what variant would come onto the scene going forward. So for me, 2022, I think it would be a watershed year regarding your viral infections or the COVID-19 variants. We will this year still see what and how the virus is going to mutate, and whether that would be better than Omicron, worse than Omicron, we won't know. But always remember, it's not in the virus' best interest to mutate and kill off everyone. That's not in the virus' best interest, because that virus will then eventually also be killed.
Ma'am, that leads me to my next question, because there are doctors who are calling Omicron a natural vaccine, that it's helping build antibodies while offering mild symptoms. Do you agree with them, who are playing down this Omicron threat?
Well, that's a interesting way of looking at it, and I cannot say they're wrong. But it's also a gamble. Again, if you have comorbidities and you are above a certain age, severely overweight, and to try to take the gamble with the mildness of Omicron, you might succeed and you might not. So, I can't say they're wrong, but it's a gamble. I would rather, at a certain age group, rather get my vaccines and then take the gamble with the Omicron.
You know, that's important what you're saying, that don't gamble with Omicron in any form. Finally, therefore, how worried should India be with this rapid spread? Because we are seeing the numbers now, going out of control in the last 48 hours. How worried should we be given what you've experienced in South Africa?
Well, that's the nature of the virus. The virus is rapid spreading. That's what makes it different from the other variants. This is a very fast spreading viral infection. So what you need to do is you need to encourage people to get themselves tested, because the more they are tested, the more you can isolate them. So I'd rather test and have a huge positivity rate, and then know that those patients are taken out of circulation by isolation, then not having them test, and everyone walking around and infecting other people. But again, the wearing of masks, very, very important.
One final question, ma'am, a clarification in terms of age group in South Africa. Was there any particular age group most affected, and were all most of those affected by Omicron vaccinated?
So the age groups, right in the beginning, the children were more affected, but for now, the children are fine. We don't have a problem with the children anymore. They seem to be over most of the Omicron. We'll see again as the school starts next week. Regarding the age groups being admitted to ICU or high care, with COVID themselves would be above the age group above 30, with most probably, in my case, in my surgery, it was above 50 with comorbidities, vaccinated. But again, not really very sick. None of them needed to be ventilated. And we don't have any patients at primary healthcare level in the community on any oxygen. We have never prescribed it during the Omicron wave.
So there's good news and there's some not so good news. The good news, as you said, they recovered very quickly. The worry, of course, is that the virus is spreading quickly. Dr. Coetzee, as always, for giving us lessons that India could learn from your experience there in South Africa. Thanks so much for joining me here on the news today.